Every once in a while, we try to get together with Bill Pond, who is over at Noble Horizons, of course, here in Salisbury, the administrator there. And today is one of those days, even though it's a very cold morning. Good morning, Bill. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on, Marshall.
You know, I was looking at some of the news, first of all, coming out of Noble Horizons, and not necessarily released by you, but other agencies. And this is the invitation that was sent to you to present what you did in setting up visitation procedures. I guess you were invited by the Connecticut Senate Subcommittee on Socialization, Visitation, and Caregiver Engagement. And the way you did things was so successful, I guess they wanted to find out the magic key.
Well, you know what? The magic key has been at Noble Horizons for a very long time, certainly long before I got there. And it was a privilege to have an opportunity to express some of the programs that we provide through our visitation service. It was very exciting and it was a very historic time.
So let's remind people exactly what your socialization and visitation rules have been that have basically kept you COVID-19 free.
Well, you know, several months back, a big part of the wholeness of care certainly is to maintain contact with family members, and we had to come up with a way where we can invite the public in to see loved ones and also keep staff and loved ones and even the family members safe. And we were able to put together a couple of different ideas and create a couple of rooms available to people visiting, and very safe environment, significant screening procedures, multiple screening procedures, a lot of background information, and you know, so far so good. It has worked out pretty well.
Well, and just listening to that, it sounds like it sounds so simple, but those things that you put into effect, and you put into effect quickly, were all additional things. And I guess it took a lot of extra hard work and dedication from the staff really to put that all together, and also the families and the patients there that you serve.
It's a completely a team effort. Since the beginning of this, we have really relied on the expertise and the commitment of so many people, from the cottagers, the guests that live in our cottages, the staff member, the residents themselves, vendors, every stakeholder you can imagine has really played a significant role in this whole thing over the course of the last 10 plus months. So it's very much a team effort, and the communication has been key. Commitment has been key. But Marshall, I can't tell you how impressed and how fortunate we are to have such a team of staff members who have really bought into this overall concept from a early time on, and has been very successful in maintaining our COVID-free status amongst our residents. So kudos to our staff. They're second to none, I must say.
All right, we're speaking once again with Bill Pond from Noble Horizons. And, of course, the news that broke this week was the beginning of vaccinations for first responders and healthcare workers. And then we'll have a second vaccination, I guess, a different formula coming out probably in the next week to 10 days. And now update us on your vaccination plans and what you're going to do.
Well, Marshall, it's like a Christmas present. I have to. There's no other way really to describe it. For such a long period of time, we have always discussed and hoped and talked about the vaccine will be coming and we'll get out of this. And lo and behold, it's finally here. Our staff and our residents in the nursing home and on our residential care home, our Cobble residents, will all be tested next Wednesday on the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. I say tested, I mean vaccinated, next week. And just 2 days before Christmas, the second vaccination will take place 21 days later on January the 13th. You know, it's very cathartic, in my opinion. It's a huge sigh of relief. We're very much looking forward to to this bright light that seems to be shining so much brighter each day as we get closer to next Wednesday, and it truly is just wonderful timing.
Your staff, anybody a little scared, or everybody just willing to take that vaccination?
Well, it's interesting you say that. We all say that we're looking forward to this, but certainly there are some questions, and we have done the best we can to try to educate our staff, providing them with all of the facts, the scientific data as it pertains to, potential side effects, lasting effects, as much as we can get directly from Pfizer themselves. We've had conference calls with Pfizer and certainly with the CDC. We've had conference calls with CVS, who will be presenting the vaccinations for us, and there is a certain amount of trepidation. We are exposed on a daily basis to all kinds of information, and it's up to us to kind of decipher as to what's real and perhaps some of the information that's a bit misleading. So we're working with staff on a daily basis trying to navigate the information that's out there. And I certainly believe as we get closer to next Wednesday, the majority of our staff members will in fact be vaccinated, and just about all of our residents also are choosing to be vaccinated. So we're getting to the finish line.
It is definitely the light at the end of the tunnel has gotten a lot brighter, especially for the early vaccinations to senior residents of these homes, and also the staff. And then next, people like me who are 68 and have a bunch of other things piled on top of that. I know that I'm going to take it. I know, I've had people tell but you know what? Since I was a kid, I've taken all the vaccinations and I've managed to survive. As with anything in life, anything can happen. But that's why when you take this vaccination, you have to hang around, because if you're going to have a reaction to it, it's going to be within 15, 20 minutes. So then they're there with the EpiPens and everything to stop the reactions from happening. So
yes, that's correct. They certainly will be monitoring the whole procedure.
All right, and so now that you've kept so far to this date, knock on wood as I hit my head, 100% COVID-free, obviously I know it's a hard time to recognize and to celebrate the employees, because it's still going on. It's an ongoing pandemic. But really, I mean, you must show appreciation to your staff, because they've managed to do something which really in our area, and I'm including Massachusetts and adjacent Eastern New York and that as well, keeping everything 100% COVID-free.
Yeah, it really is quite a very positive story for us. Along the way, there have been a couple of staff members over the course of the 10-month period that have showed some signs and some symptoms. But the fact that they come together to do what they do, to keep it away from the facility, going into the community, sharing time appropriately with loved ones through the Thanksgiving holiday. We were concerned about a potential surge after that. It did not happen at Noble. We're thankful for that. We have Christmas coming up, kind of a bittersweet thing. You look forward to spending time with Christmas with your family and friends, but we have a couple of surprises up our sleeve as it pertains to recognizing our staff. I'm not going to give it away in case some of them are listening right now, but it means so much to recognize their efforts. And over this period of time, we use the family a lot on the Noble Horizons campus, and there is no greater time than that term comes into play at Noble, because truly, everybody that puts in their time and commits themselves to what our goals are truly the strongest of families. And so we as a group will have an opportunity to share some very positive times in the next couple of weeks. And we are going to really embrace 2021, because we're all looking forward 2020 just to kind of disappear.
You know, the last thing I'm going to say to you is that we're now well over 9 months into this. Actually, the pandemic came to this country, as we found out, really in late December, but we've been all dealing with it for a good 9 months. And I know sitting here at the radio station, we had to do certain things, but I cannot imagine how long this 9 month period has seemed to you and other administrators who not only have the care of the people that are in the facility, that are patients, that are rehab patients, that are residents, but also the staff, and in cooperation with that, the families of the staff, the pressures you must feel at the end of each day trying to keep everybody safe must be enormous over these past 9 months.
Well, I appreciate that, Marshall. Again, I guess I go back to the same point. We take refuge in solitude in each other's stories and challenges and successes. And we've been fortunate enough to build off of our successes, and that has reinforced our efforts, our goals, our initiatives, and it truly has been a very cohesive focus on this whole thing. And I think when the 23rd rolls around, I can imagine there's going to be a tear or two dropped as we go through this process of relief, as it were, and reflection. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, once again, congratulations. It's always great to speak to you. I hope the next time I speak to you, it's about a public event like a chicken fry or something where all the residents can get together with the community again.
That sounds perfect to me.
Bill, have a happy holiday season. And once again, thanks for all the work you do.
Thanks so much. You as well.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. That is Bill Pond, who is the administrator at Noble Horizons at noblehorizons.org.